I can feel it deep down in my plums. It's gonna be a good stream. I can just feel it. You know? Got a bluish hue. Ready to take him to the farmer's market. I can feel it deep down in my plums. Nice to see the glasses back. What the fuck? Maybe they're not back. How do you even know? In fact, I got them up. Maybe I'll take them down. Right, Nick, I'll take them off right now. Maybe I don't want to wear them. What about that? Should I do like a transformation? Should I go from not glasses to glasses? Should we do a live transformation to see what it looks like? See the difference? What do you think? Should we give it a shot? All right, I do have them on. But only because I want to see things. Because they were on in your weekend vid? Nope. Nope, you got that wrong. Wrong again. All right, you want to see? Here's what it looks like. Ready? Are you watching? Isn't it? Is it better? Is it better now? Okay, much better. Right on. Anyway, what up? How's everybody doing, man? How was the weekend? What'd you guys do this weekend? Anybody do anything fun? Anybody do anything fun? Anybody have a good time? Did y'all have a good time? What'd you do, man? What'd you get into? Hey, Four Eyes. Hey, don't say that. Are those lady glasses? Jesus. Yeah, what was that show where the guy said, oh, that's a nice jacket. Do they make it for men? What was that show? Was that on Seinfeld? That was a good one. Congrats to OKC. Yeah, congratulations. They won the sports ball game. Is that what did they get many touchdowns? I didn't watch it. I just hope that both teams had fun. And I hope the fans had a good time, man. You know? Didn't watch it. Spent the day on a boat. It was hot AF. It was hot this weekend. And I did see, I saw some of your pics on Instagram, Bianca. It looked like a fun time. But yeah, dude, it was hot this weekend, man. Like, it was gross hot. Like, disgusting. Super humid, gross around here. Did yard work? Hell no. I got to do yard work today. I'm hoping it's a little chill compared to what it was over the weekend. I got to cut the grass today. Oh my goodness. It's from New Girl? Oh, okay, nice. It was all tied up. Fun to fun. What? I don't know what that means. Oh, by the way, we got Lukey in here. We got the door open. Pups might come in and out today. We're just kind of chilling. Cutting the grass wasn't fun. Oh, dude, I bet not. I bet it was a mother heifer, as they say. I gotta get the AC going on in here. About to mow for 2 days. No, my yard's pretty small, man. My yard's pretty small. I'm gonna try to knock this shit out. Lickety split. Because I would assume it's gonna be real hot, and I don't want to be out there too long. Spent 4 days in Atlanta. Just got back. Fun trip. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Good for you. Was it hot down there, too? Because I know there was, like, a heat wave going through, like, the Midwest to the Northeast. Can you remind us of how you got that couch in here? Pure rage. Rage. You know, it's a very useful tool. I was trying to get it in through this door, and I tried everything I could to get it through that doorway. Could not do it. This is inside the house. So I ended up having to take it outside, go around the house, and I did it all on my own with nothing but pure fucking unadulterated rage. Like, I was so mad that I couldn't get it in this way that it was one of those, like, all right, fine, you motherfucker! And, like, got up to the front door, threw it out the front door, was flipping it, and all my neighbors probably saw me, like, just flipping the couch and shit. But we got it in here. We got it done. I'm based in Atlanta. We just had a bad weather storm this past week. Oof. That's not fun. Do you think Ahsoka will stay in the other galaxy through the duration of the OT and the sequels? It just kind of depends, right? Like, is Luke going to go out there with her? And then are they going to, like, make out? Because I'm not sure, right? I just don't know. How graphic are they going to get with that, you know? Josh, we needed this stream. Take my mind off the war. Don't worry, baby. I got you. I got you. We're going to have a good time. We're going to argue about Star Wars. We're going to complain about Rey and Kathleen Kennedy. Never done that before, so it should be pretty novel. We're going to talk about how movies are dying and movie theaters are totally fucked. There's actually exhibitors that are saying, yeah, movie industry's not going to survive 20 years. We'll talk about that. That's crazy. I actually got some cool insight about the next saga after the Secret Wars, which is kind of crazy. I wanted to go back to, I found a nice article that mentioned some stuff that Joanna Robinson put in her book, because you got to remember the reboot, right? The MC reboot, that's been something that's been around for a while, and Joanna Robinson talked about it. So I want to bring that up, talk about some of the things we've just heard about the next saga. It's kind of interesting. It's apparently going to be cosmic first, then mutant, then supernatural. So we'll get into all that. We'll talk about all that. That should be cool. And then, guys, we're going to have to talk about the Batman in DC. Matt Reeves, the Batman 2 script, is due to James Gunn today. It should be there today. So we're going to talk about that. We're like, what the hell? What's the deal with Batman? Is Matt Reeves' Batman going to be the Batman? Is Robert Pattinson joining the DCU? We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. James Gunn debunked this. I don't give a fuck what James Gunn debutts. But thank you, Alex. Thank you. Appreciate you keeping me up to speed on all that. Here's the thing, too, man. I might as well drop the bad news right away, okay? Since friggin' Alex over here already got me hot. No stream tomorrow morning. Yeah, get it out of your system. Oh, no, what's he doing? Oh, it's a part-time streamer. Yeah, no stream tomorrow morning. But don't worry. I pulled a fast one. We're going to stream tomorrow. I'm going to spit on this goddamn microphone. Nah, some of you would like that. No stream tomorrow morning. But we're going to stream tomorrow night. In fact, I've got a surprise for you guys tomorrow night. Whoo, I got a surprise. Whoo, I got a surprise for you tomorrow night. I don't want to give it away. Give it away now. But we have a surprise stream for you guys tomorrow night. So I'll see you tomorrow night. I need the day tomorrow to deal with shit. I've got stuff to do, man. I gotta handle some business tomorrow, okay? No, it's not Nerd Theory. Although, you know what? I've thought a lot about, next time maybe some crazy Star Wars news pops off. Maybe we'll do just like a little Nerd Theory or whatever. Like, I can't commit to the show right now on a week-to-week basis, but maybe we could just do like a couple little bonus episode or something. I mean, I just need to get Unity taken care of. It's a whole motherfucker right now. I'm waiting on colors. I have art being built for the other chapters. It's like a whole clusterfuck. I just don't feel personally like going back to Nerd Theory, because that's going to be like a celebratory, like fun thing. I don't really feel like doing that until I have Unity figured out. Okay? So, yeah, but that's not to say that we couldn't like pop on and do a little stream for you guys, or even do a little video together, Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll talk about it. But tomorrow night I do have a nice surprise stream for you guys, but there will be no stream tomorrow morning. However, Wednesday, not only will we stream, but apparently there is a Fantastic Four trailer dropping, a new Fantastic Four trailer, maybe some more Galactus being shown. Ooh, that'll be cool. So that'll probably drop Wednesday morning. We'll do like a live little breakdown of that shit. And who knows, maybe other news and whatnot will drop as well. And then Wednesday night, we'll do a Nerd Avenger stream as well. We got to figure out what we're doing for the Nerd Avenger stream. I think we need to do another deep dive, man. I think we need to do another deep dive. I know we did Hickman's Fantastic Four already, but we never did Hickman's FF. So maybe we could get into Hickman's FF a little bit and do a deep dive on that. You know, watch some videos going over the whole thing, figure it out from there. Yeah, maybe that's what we'll do. So look out for that Wednesday night. Other than that, should be a regular streaming schedule this week. Lots of fun videos, hopefully some real cool stuff coming. And don't worry, I am absolutely cooking a lot of Warhammer content. I worked on a lot of Warhammer videos this weekend because it's the future. And that's everybody's about it. We did do Hickman's FF. No, we didn't. We did his so we did the first 6 issues. Actually, I think it might be more than 6 issues. We did all the way up till Johnny dies. There's a whole FF run that he did. It was like 30 issues after that. Unless I'm mixing that up. We did the Future Foundation, Council of Reeds, that whole story. And then there's an FF run. That's not the Fantastic Four. I think it was the Future Foundation. But, yeah, maybe we could do that on Wednesday. I don't know. We'll figure something cool out. We will figure something cool out. Oh, my God, Carl. It's slightly different, and that matters to nerds, man. Come on. Come on. Is this your first rodeo? Is this your first rodeo? Ethan says, wow, 1 month. Love this community a lot. Shout out Josh, Nerd Avengers for Life. A deep dive stream sounds awesome. More. Hey, Carl, why can't you be more like Ethan? Man, also, man, I pulled something in the gym yesterday. I'm not trying to make this all about me, but like, oh, my shoulder. Oh, my shoulder. Oh, I was lifting too many heavy objects thinking of chat. Like, oh, fucking chat. You know? And then I pulled something, so. Hell yeah. Josh, would you say you are too harsh on Star Wars? I don't know. Let's find out. Game Over Jesse says, is it true Josh is going to be an executive producer on the Warhammer series and the studio is giving 100% creative control and final casting? That's not true yet. If anybody at GW wants to fuck up their whole career, let's make it happen. Aaron Feldman, thanks for the 5, brother, says, with Punisher confirmed in the movie, really Spider-Man and him versus Hulk, and if so, Doom somehow involved because he wants to kill Anchor being Peter? Yeah, it could be. I think that's probably a good bet there. And yeah, I mean, I think Spider-Man 4 is shaping up to be really awesome, man. I'm excited about the Punisher bit. I'm excited about Hulk. I do think it's going to be Black Suit, Venom, symbiote, Spider-Man as well. That sounds dope as hell. Frank Castle and Peter in the Venom symbiote just sounds like awesome. And then Hulk raging out. Let's go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yo, Josh, any chance hop back on Battlefront 2? Probably not, brother. I mean, I have seen the whole movement and everything, and I think it's really cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe if it was still, like, because didn't the developers basically come out and say, like, that's fun, but we're not doing anymore? That's kind of a bummer, right? Zach, appreciate the 10 spot, brother. Says, what up? I got to watch after work, but I was working Friday morning, and I was listening to one of your videos over the speaker when the health inspector came in and asked me if I was a Nerd Venture. What? No way. So did you get that pass on the health inspection, or were they a hater of the channel? They were like, well, I don't like Josh's Andor take, so I'm going to have to inspect you extra hard. That would suck. That would be tough, man. I'm sorry. Oh, you got a pass. Hell yeah, they must hate Andor too, baby. Let's go. X9008, appreciate you, brother. Says, look, Josh, 9 months. Just call me Franklin Richards now, from now on. Just like the white-winged dove sings the song. Sounds she's singing, oh, baby. Oh, said, oh, baby, baby. Oh, baby. Wow. Impressive. I don't know. I don't know about that song, but thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Zachary Anderson says, nobody likes your Andor take. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. That's very nice. The inspector was probably James Goon, fan club president, and shut the place down. Yeah. No, that would track. You know what I mean? That would track. I think Star Wars has a brighter future than Marvel, if we're being honest. Wow, that's a take. What do you guys think? Which one has a better future? Hey, chat. Which one has a better future, Star Wars or Marvel? And let's see if any of you picked the correct answer. Carl got it! Warhammer! Let's go! The correct answer is Warhammer. The correct answer is Warhammer. And yes, it is the future. It will do better than all the other franchises. Hollywood fucked it all up. Henry Cavill's gonna save us all. Okay. Let's get into some shit. Man. So, when it comes to Star Wars, ladies and gentlemen, we are unfortunately stuck in some kind of a time loop. Okay? Feels like a fucking time loop, if I'm being honest with you. So you might notice a lot of the stuff we're about to talk about in this little segment here. If you're watching us on the clip channel on this clip, a lot of stuff we're talking about here, we have talked about before. And that is because we are stuck in a goddamn time loop, specifically when it comes to the future of Star Wars. It's not that this isn't real. This is news, and there is movement here. But it is, in a lot of ways, the same argument, the same fight, the same, like, should it be this, should it be that kind of a discussion. And so I didn't talk about this last week. I was going to talk about this on maybe Friday and then maybe on NNR. I did not end up streaming or doing NNR because I'm a terrible content creator. But we're going to talk about it right now. So, what am I talking about? Last week, Daniel RPK reported that the Star Wars movie that is centered on Rey, and I believe this would be the Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy film that was written by Damon Lindelof, now is written by Steve Knight or maybe a different writer. A little bit of debate about that. This movie's on hold. And Daniel, I believe, actually used the word indefinitely, which makes it feel a little bit more like serious. And just like all the other times when this movie was put on hold, you saw a whole kerfuffle on the internet, a whole bunch of people bringing their side of the story up on Twitter. A lot of people happy about this, a lot of people upset about this, because there are Rey fans, and they mostly exist on Twitter. And so anytime some shit like this happens, they're vocally upset. A lot of people like me are vocally pumped. And, around and around we go. Okay, so just to be clear, the report from Daniel RPK was that the Rey movie was being put on hold indefinitely. Sean Levy's Starfighter and James Mangold Dawn of the Jedi movies are moving forward first. Okay, so a lot of different ways to interpret this, right? All sorts of people thinking about this in certain ways. I saw, for instance, I believe I saw John Roca speculating that this was likely being done to, like, earn some goodwill, maybe from the fans, create a couple of other movies that were very successful first, and then make the Rey movie. Jeff Snyder kind of shot that down, and that's kind of the thing that I want to get into. But let's just first read from this article here, which is going to break down the situation a little bit better. Then we'll talk about what Jeff said, and we'll talk about what I've heard, and we'll talk about why Star Wars is probably fucked, okay? Rey Star Wars movie get disappointing update as 2 new movies move forward. Daisy Ridley's Star Wars movie focused on Rey just got another setback, with Sean Levy's Starfighter and another film moving forward at Lucasfilm. At the end of Rise of Skywalker, Rey returned to Tatooine with her gold lightsaber. After seeing Luke and Leia Force Ghost, she declared herself to be a Skywalker. Where the fuck is Ben? It was polarizing ending that teed up an uncertain future for the character. Yeah, I'll say. During 2023 Star Wars Celebration, it was announced that Ridley would reprise her role in the film directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy following Rey as she rebuilds the Jedi Order. However, its development appears to have been laborious. Damon Lindelof worked on it, and then he left. Steve Knight was hired, and then he left. Now it's on hold. So that's kind of interesting. They're reporting that Steve Knight has left, which, to be honest with you, a lot of people saw coming. Steve Knight is doing the Peaky Blinders movie. It just seemed like he would probably put a lot more energy into that than making Damon Lindelof's movie work with a younger Rey. Because remember, according to Jeff Snyder, the Lindelof version of this film was actually not going to use Daisy Ridley at all. In fact, the Rey character is going to be aged up to like 60s or 70s, and I believe her name is Helen Mirren, the actress that's in, to me, that I've seen most recently in Mobland. She is fucking awesome in that movie, or in that show, by the way, and they just got that show renewed for season 2. Helen Mirren. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Helen Mirren was apparently going to play an older Rey, right? Weirdly, like 2 weeks after Lindelof hands in that script, Kathleen Kennedy comes on stage and introduces Rey as coming back, right? So, you know, just like a lot of other Star Wars shenanigans and just the way that Kathy produces movies over there, before she had a script, well, I guess technically she had a script, but brought out a completely different version of the character to announce for the film. Immediately gets rid of Lindelof and then hires Knight to do their version with Rey. Okay, so that's kind of like the history there. So, Star Wars Rey movie put on hold. According to a report from insider Daniel Richtman, the Rey movie is on hold once again, and both Sean Levy and James Mangold Star Wars films are moving forward first. Levy's directing Starfighter, which a new standalone entry in the franchise set after the events of Rise of Skywalker. It'll star Ryan Gosling and is believed to be follow a teenager and his uncle on a mission far, far away. Totally. Mangold project is arguably more interesting. Dawn of the Jedi is exactly what the title suggests. A movie chronicling the origins of the Force and the first Jedi in the Star Wars timeline. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Okay, here's something interesting. However, don't worry too much about the Rey movie. What? The project is not canceled, just temporarily on hold, Richtman added. So it should still go ahead in the future. George Nolfi, the Bourne Ultimatum, is currently attached to write the script for the Rey movie. I have not read the latest script, but I know what's happening, and I know the story, and I think it feels really good, is that George is a phenomenal writer. Ridley told Comic Book earlier this year. Wow, so this is kind of interesting here, because when I was watching Jeff Snyder talk about this, I think it was on Friday, he did not even know that Steve Knight was no longer on the project, that George had been brought on, but Ridley has literally commented on it. That's fascinating. I think we're making sure the story is the best way. The script is the best way to tell the story. Wow. Riveting. Okay. So that's the report from Daniel. Okay. Now, the other thing that happened here, and this is, again, we are stuck in a time loop. Okay. Because a little bit after this, you had Jeff Snyder comment on this on the Hot Mic podcast with John Roca. And Jeff had basically explained that that movie's still coming. Jeff had explained that there were several movies starring Rey that are being developed, and Jeff had already said that Rey will be in Sean Levy's Starfighter movie. Now, the one to me that I think is most interesting is the Sean Levy one, because they have not used Daisy at all to promote this thing, right? And you might be like, okay, well, maybe they're trying to keep it a secret, but according to the Hollywood Trade articles, Lucasfilm considers Daisy Ridley's Rey to be one of the most valuable assets the entire company has. So why would they hide that fact unless they have realized that the pop around that character is so low and so bad that they would literally be better off with Ryan Gosling, right? And as opposed to in 2023, when Kathy brings out Daisy Ridley and Charmin Obed-Chinoy, this time around at Celebration, it was just a bunch of white dudes, man. Like, she brings out Goss, she brings out Sean Levy, Hayden Christensen. Like, so it's either, you know, one of two things could be going on here. This could be something that Disney themselves is identifying and sort of forcing Kathy's hand on. Highly fucking doubt that. There's just not a lot of evidence to suggest that Kathy plays by the rules. For whatever reason, she does not seem to have to listen to anybody. It's crazy, right? No accountability, no listening to anybody. It's absolutely insane. So I highly doubt that they have made that decision themselves, although I suppose it's possible they did so, and they're kind of like working with Dave and maybe marketing, and maybe they've all just kind of convinced Kathy that the best way to sell this film is with Gosling. That's possible, right? The other side of this is that Kathy could just be wanting to use it as a surprise. Okay, so like this is what I think's going on. I think Kathy wants to sell us on the Deadpool and Wolverine director made a Star Wars movie with Ken, and they just want us to get excited about that. And then, oh, what do you know? Sleight of hand, don't look behind the curtain. Bam! It's fucking Rey, dude. Rey, front and center. Rey, right in your fucking face. Rey in that Star Wars movie. Okay, so that's what I think is going on. Okay. And I wonder how that'll do. I wonder how that'll work. And I wonder if the success or the failure of that film will indicate whether or not these other Rey movies go forward. Okay? Because something else that I've been talking a lot about, you know, like I just find it interesting that like Jeff has never addressed this, even though I've heard from people like, you know, like I've just heard from really reliable people, and that big thing of scoops that I got a couple of months back that were proven to be correct pretty quickly. I just find it interesting that nobody's really addressing this aspect of the whole story here, but there is somewhat of a civil war at Lucasfilm. There are two different camps within that studio that are looking at the future of Star Wars, particularly when it comes to the films, in different ways. One of the most insightful pieces of information that happened during the last year that sort of proves this is, do you remember the reports of a trilogy of films with Rey from Simon Kinberg? How many of you guys remember that story? I know it's a Monday, you know, it's the middle of summer, we got heat waves, bajillion fucking degrees smacking us in our stupid nerdy heads. But just play along with me. How many of you guys remember that report? Within that report, guys, there was a really interesting thing that said this announcement caught Lucasfilm executives off guard. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? That is such an important piece of this puzzle, because what that suggests is that Kathy, just like after Bellany dropped that she was leaving, and then she plays the games in the Hollywood Reporter or in the Hollywood Trades, gets that total puff piece where that one dude was like straight up her butt, just, you know, glazing her. A bunch of nerds on the internet said you're not going away. Kathy, how do you respond? You know, like that whole thing. Just like in that scenario, Kathy was also using those same sources, those same levers, and she was announcing a trilogy of Star Wars movies that I'm telling you right now, multiple executives at Lucasfilm were like, what the fuck are these movies? What is she talking about? Because they didn't greenlight them. They didn't even talk about them. Okay? So the reason this is all important is, like, if you're actually paying attention here, right? If you're really plugged in, it's just so obvious that there's a debate, a conversation, and you know, potentially what you would describe as a civil war over the future of Star Wars with regards to these films. Now, let's talk about another element here, because it's kind of interesting. Apparently, the Mando and Grogu film, which comes out next year, right? Apparently, the Mando and Grogu film is looking to be a trilogy. I believe it may well be a trilogy that connects to Dave's movie, the one that they announced, that's essentially like an Heir to the Empire thing, and then maybe a potential other film after that. And the only way that trilogy of movies happens is if Mando and Grogu is successful. Okay? So I think what you have going on here, guys, is two kind of thoughts. Maybe multiple thoughts, but in a general gist, here's what we have. We have Dave. What's Dave doing? Dave's developing the Abeloth stuff, the Ahsoka stuff, playing around with Thrawn, playing around with young Luke. From what I understand, his Heir to the Empire movie is supposed to give us Han, Luke, and Leia actually together all at once. And that's like a big deal that we've all wanted. I think Dave knows that we want that. So Dave's kind of trying to do, you know, George Lucas Star Wars, fulfill some promises for the fans, and I think ultimately push into the future, because I kind of think that Dave wants to use Abeloth to actually retcon the sequels a bit and explain some of the things that happen and set up the future, potentially of another trilogy, you know, far down the line or something like that, okay? So that's what I think, like, Dave is cooking. John, by the way, totally out. John, totally out. He's going to probably finish up his contract, and then he's out of Star Wars. Obviously, he loves Star Wars. He loves Dave. You know, he probably has respect for Kathy, too. I've heard there's a lot of tension there. if John is involved further, you know, not to say that he couldn't do more movies or shows, but I think he has a contract, and I think he wants out basically after that. That's my impression. But Dave has this like vision for the stories that he wants to tell, and then it's like, okay, what's Kathy's vision then? Kathy's vision is to protect the assets that she created during the sequel trilogy. So Rey, John Boyega, Poe, Rose Tico, all these different characters. She wants to double down on that time period. She wants to have those characters in movies. Rey establishing a new Jedi Order to completely solidify not only Rey's place within the canon, but also, you know, the sequel trilogy's place within the canon. Now, at the end of the day, we don't know that Dave doesn't want to do anything with Rey, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I can't sit up here and honestly tell you that I think Dave wants to say, like, forget Rey. I don't think that's exactly what's going on. But there's clearly a difference in the priorities and how they're building the future stories compared to what Dave wants to do with what Kathy wants to do. And I really do wonder who will come out on top here, how this is going to look, right? But I do have to say that the Andor win, and the Andor was absolutely a win for Kathleen Kennedy. The Andor win gives Kathy a bit more leverage here, a bit more cachet, and I think it will allow her to enforce her will a little bit more. You know, we'll see if anything can change the course of that happening. I think the performance of Ahsoka Season 2 and the performance of the Mando movie are going to be very key to if Dave's vision for the future films have any say, okay? And according to Snyder, the only problem here is that they just don't have a script. So they're on their third writer, you know, they just can't get the script together, and the other films are pretty much ready to go. But at the same time, it's Star Wars, so, like, is the Mangold thing even really going to happen? I'm not sure. At this point, I only believe that Mando Grogu is going to happen. Everything else is suspect, and obviously Sean Levy's stuff should happen as well. He can definitely turn a film around. So, you know, there was a moment, just like there have been for the past couple of weeks, that we thought maybe we were rid of this Rey stuff. That's not true, man. The current plan involves a shit ton of Rey. And so I guess we're just going to have to figure out what happens next. This movie is likely years off. If Rey shows up in Starfighter and people hate it, technically that could give us a better chance at no Rey trilogy, Simon Kinberg Rey trilogy, right? If Dave's Ahsoka Season 2 absolutely crushes it, that gives us a better chance of them pivoting into Heir to the Empire stuff over top of Rey stuff. So that's basically where we're at, guys. But I've been trying to warn people for several months at this point. Kathleen Kennedy is planning to do 6+ Rey movies in the next few years. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But those are your updates about the story. We're on this fucking time loop, bro. We are stuck in a time loop. I don't know what to tell you guys. You know what I mean? Like, we're just gonna have to see what happens, and you're gonna get a lot of Rey. Probably, maybe, hopefully not, but probably. So there you go. What are your thoughts, chat? Thoughts, comments, questions? What do you think? What do you think? Any thoughts? It's Jover. I mean, maybe. We'll see. Star Wars is in an interesting spot. The Andor success kind of blew me away a little bit, kind of surprised me. We'll see what the Ahsoka Season 2 numbers look like. Really interested to see what this film does. Mando Grogu. Like, what if Mando Grogu just crushes all the recent Marvel movies? Oof, that's tough. You know? Rey heel turn? I mean, dude, there's all sorts of interesting stuff they could do with Rey. I just don't know that they will actually do it, right? Like, I guess what I would say is this. If you're going to have Rey handled, I damn sure trust Filoni over Simon Kinberg. There are other really competent people that could come in and do a really great job as well. But the main thing for me is if you look at Dave, right? He has been able to take multiple characters. I think Ahsoka's probably the best example. But Anakin, to a degree. He's been able to take a lot of characters that the fan base is kind of divided on and earn the respect of the fans just through, like, actual story, character development, sort of playing the long game. Obviously, not everybody loves Dave's stuff. There's right now, I think we live in a moment where, especially after, Andor and it being successful, there are a lot of people that are like rejecting the more traditional George Lucas fairy tale version of Star Wars, and they want something a little more postmodern, a little bit more serious, like Andor. So I don't know, man. I mean, we live in a time where Star Wars has kind of divided itself. It's providing different versions of itself, and different portions of the fan base are connecting with different aspects of it in different ways, right? So it's tough. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, man. Go 1,000 years in the future and just start again. Old man Grogu for it to connect to the saga, but F away from it all, start again. I would like that too, actually. I would really like that. I just don't know that we're there yet. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know that we're there yet. And technically, none of the project... I mean, this is the other thing that's really fucking irritating, right? Mangold's project is probably the most like that because it's going to go all the way back. But Mangold has said some weird shit about lore and how he doesn't really care about it. In fact, he made a comment like, I'm actually excited to go 30,000 years away from this shit so I don't have to think about the lore. And I'm like, ooh, you don't know about that, bud. The Jedi, the Ashla and the Bogan, Tython, these things matter to me, dude. So, like, it's not like there's no lore, bro. So I'm a little worried about that. That's a red flag. But if you look at everything else, man, there's not a single project that is moving Star Wars forward, really. I mean, Starfighter is a standalone project supposedly set 9 years after the sequel trilogy, but it's basically a sequel trilogy. Like, it is basically a sequel trilogy era movie. You know what I mean? And Rey's supposed to pop up. Other characters are supposed to pop up. Like, I heard I heard Rose Tico's supposed to pop up. Like, I'm dead ass. I'm not even kidding. Like, I heard Rose is supposed to pop up. So, is it really a new era for Star Wars? And then if we do a whole trilogy of movies focused on Rey, are we really moving Star Wars forward? No. And then Dave, I love Dave's stuff, but he's doing all the stuff before even the sequel trilogy. Like, we really are trapped in a time loop when it comes to Star Wars, kind of in multiple ways, dude. The lore is about to be rewritten with Mangold's movie. Yeah, I don't want that, bro. I don't want that. RJ Brando, appreciate the 5 spot, says, in an era where video game adaptations are working, how the hell is KOTOR not in the works? They can't even get the KOTOR remake done, bro. They can't even get the KOTOR remake done, let alone actually boot that thing up into the live action version. You know what I mean? So what are we talking about here? Yeah. I hope DJ pops up. Yeah, with his stutter. Jesus. No, we did not talk about the Batman yet. We'll talk about Batman next, actually. Honey Boo Boo should headline Star Wars? Totally. New Fantastic Four trailer on Wednesday. What do you expect to see? Probably more sorry. I'm such a pig. Probably more Galactus. Hopefully Galactus says some shit, you know what I mean? That'd be cool. It's kind of hypocritical if we trust Dave's vision to run Star Wars and not tout Gunn's version of the DCU. I'm not sure what do you mean by that. I don't understand why it's hypocritical. If you could give me a little bit more, maybe I'll agree. Pretty sure Josh Gad is a fan of the sequels, so I doubt Spaceballs will make fun of KK or the sequels. What? Don't really want to see Galactus until the movie comes out. Well, then don't watch the trailer, Alex. Do you guys remember when Kathy said we were very aware of the Old Republic? Nah, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. How can they do Spaceballs and not make fun of the sequels? True. Yeah, that's right, Alex. Yeah, I'm just messing, man. Okay, but we can all agree we want more Rebels characters in live action. Yeah, Rebels is awesome, man. Gad is writing the new Spaceballs. Oh wow, okay, gotcha. Didn't know that. Why wouldn't Mel Brooks write it? Isn't that like why you would get Mel Brooks? The hell? What the hell is even that? So guys, what do you think is gonna happen, man? Like if we get Rey in this Gosling movie, okay? Can we just talk about this for a little bit before we move on to the Batman? Is there any way that you think the fans would get excited about seeing Rey in that film? Okay? Like, what do you think, guys? Is there any way? What could they do? Maybe if she was written better. Heel turn. I like that. If she went dark side, I think that would be cool. I just highly doubt they're going to do that. You know, like, dude, I would love that. I really would. I really would. Yeah. Nudity. She is hot. But this is Disney we're talking about, okay? So, I mean, nudity, no. You know, like, it's you ain't getting that. Is she? I mean, I think she's pretty hot. I think she is. Male nips only. True. I can see it for 2 movies, but she's coming back to the light. Yeah. I still just almost can't see them doing that, right? Now we need Unity. Trust me, I want Unity out bad, man. I want Unity. And by the way, Unity has some nudity. How about that? She's a woke Luke clone. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's exactly what she is. Maybe they should lean into that. I think she's mid. What? You guys are crazy. I remember Kathleen Kennedy saying that, and also they think of the Old Republic every day. Oh, yeah? Dong for Unity. I don't know what that's about. Thank you, Dev. Appreciate you. There's a small chance fans could be interested in the rebuilding of the Jedi Order if it's written well. Yeah, fair. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe having her dress all in black could be kind of interesting. A little bit like Luke in Return of the Jedi. Maybe if she comes in, she's a little bit more stoic, older. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, maybe. Okay, here's what it is. I got a pitch. Oh, I just had a good idea. All right, I'm gonna pitch this to you guys. I'm gonna act like I just got into the room with Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, so I'm in the room. I'm like, hey, Kathy, what's up? Sorry about those jokes. I didn't make that song, by the way. You probably already know this. I'm glad you're gonna make movies till you die. Okay, listen. I know you want Rey to pop in this new movie. Okay, and I know you're working on a way to make that happen. Walk with me, Kathy. Take my hand. Walk with me down this beach. So there's another Jedi in the movie that has been in the movie the whole time, and she's really annoying. She's really girl bossy. Ryan Gosling character makes like little jokes here and there, and she's like, that's inappropriate. Not in this galaxy. Not these days. You know what I mean? She's very Mary Sue. And then Rey, actual Rey, comes in and force chokes her to death in front of the whole audience, okay? And then casts her aside, like throws her like Mace Windu out the window, and then like deadass like looks into the camera, and she's like, I hate insufferable cunts like that. Couldn't be me, and then gives us a little wink. Yeah, I know. It's good. I know. You guys are too kind. You're too kind. You know, but don't stop. You're too kind. Yeah, so I mean, I guess there's maybe a way you could make it happen, see how bold they get with it. I don't know, man. I mean, the whole thing with Star Wars right now, and I think what makes it really difficult, to be honest with you, is this whole Kathy thing. It's like she obviously wants to leave a big old stinky fart in the room before she leaves the building. And I'm just hoping that like Dave figures it out and that he's going to forge ahead. And by the way, it's not even that you can't do Rey. I think the reality is it's really hard to trust Kathleen Kennedy produced movies with Rey to be good. I think that's just dead ass what it is. It's like, it's just really hard for us to imagine this, especially like if you're plugged in like we are, right? And that Damon Lindelof was like, I think 70-year-old Ray, played by a completely different actress, is what you should do. And like Damon Lindelof, like he's that fucking guy. You know, he co-wrote Prometheus. Just watching Prometheus last night, right? Because we're on like a big alien kick. Watch Prometheus last night. Fucking Damon Lindelof co-writes fucking Prometheus. Come on, man. The guy has chops. Like he knows. Why'd you get him in the first place, Kathy? If you weren't gonna fucking listen to him. So, you have him, and he's like, you know what? Daisy Ridley's hot, but she can't act. This character fucking sucked. Take her into the older age, and we're gonna do this. And then Kathy literally turns around and brings Daisy Ridley back on stage before she even has a fucking script, dude. So it's not like we're sitting back here like, oh, maybe Kathy's actually doing a good job this time. It's like, no, we dead ass know. It is just like all the other shit that she fucked up. So it's really hard to be like, yes, I am excited about this Ray stuff. It's clearly going to be better than it was in the sequel trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just hard to have that kind of a feeling. Alex, appreciate the 5, says, sorry for making you mad today. Well, you better be. I'm a huge fan of the channels, and I've made music of a Loki Season 2 small trailer aiming for Doomsday trailers now. That's awesome, man. I'm just playing around, man. I appreciate you. I'm just having a bit of fun, okay? It's not a big deal. It's all good. How the fuck did he waste Ridley's talent? Jeez. Yeah. Wait, what? Didn't half of the people hate that movie? What movie? What movie are you talking about, bruh? What you talking about? Daisy looked hot in AF in that dress, though. I mean, yeah, you're not wrong. You know, we've addressed that. We've given her flowers for the cake. Vandal, the blanket, there's another spy franchise in Manchester. Wait, what's Justin complaining about? What's Justin dropping whole ass paragraphs complaining about? Holy. Prometheus is highly underrated. Ray sucks. Give us Darth Jar Jar. Facts, Eric. Facts. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, man. Again, the story is the same. We're on a fucking time loop here. Let's talk about the Batman. I think it's time, man. We've lingered enough. Let's talk about the Batman. So a lot of questions about the DCU, about Batman Part 2. Well, check this out. It's kind of crazy. Matt Reeves completes script for the Batman Part 2. Filming begins January 2026. Wow. Finally, Matt Reeves has completed the script for the Batman Part 2. According to Matthew Bellany's report on Puck, Reeves is set to deliver the Batman Part 2 script to DC Studios on Monday, June 23rd, 2025. Filming is scheduled to begin in January 2026. Guys, that's today. James Gunn could be reading the Batman Part 2 script right now. Let's be honest, he is far more likely to be reading Twitter. But maybe in between that, he is reading the Batman Part 2 script today. Incredible. On Threads, DC Studio co-head James Gunn says that only 5 people know the details of the script for the Batman Part 2. He added, any story or character leaks you've ever heard are false or a lucky guess. I mean, can I just, on a side note here, does anybody believe a goddamn thing this dude says anymore? Do you guys see the thing that, and I don't focus on every little thing, you know what I mean? Because I'm fucking over it, you know what I mean? I'm on to Warhammer now, but as far as you're going to drag me back in and talk about this shit, I'm going to tell you the truth. Did anybody see the thing where he came out super hard saying that Palm, the Mantis chick, is not in Superman? He did this whole fucking thing on social media. People brought it up. He's like, not only is Palm not in it, but anybody that thinks she is a dumbass. Yeah, she's in it. It's confirmed now. Like, this dude is such a fucking liar, dude. God, it's so irritating. You know? All right, let's keep going. In a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, Gunn said, we're supposed to get a script in June. I hope that happens. We feel really good about it, he added. Matt's excited. I talk to Matt all the time. I'm totally excited about it. So we can't wait to read the script, but we haven't read it yet. If that's your question, people should get off Matt's case because it's like, let the guy write the screenplay in the amount of time he needs. That's just the way it is. He doesn't owe you something just because you liked his movie. By the way, I didn't even like that movie. I mean, you like his movie because of Matt. So let Matt do things the way he does. Okay. In an interview with SFX magazine, Reeves says the Batman Part 2 will introduce a new mystery that explores corruption even further. He added the story builds upon the first. Reeves said, it's another mystery that's going to dig into the epic story of deeper corruption, and it goes into places that he couldn't even anticipate in the first one. The seeds of where this goes are all in the first movie. Nice. Like that. Speaking of Hero Magazine, Robert Pattinson joked that he started as young Batman and will be old Batman by the time Batman Part 2 arrives. Pattinson said, I fucking hope so, laughs. I start out as young Batman. I'm going to be fucking old Batman by the sequel. I wonder if Gunn also thinks that Robert needs to get off of Matt's case as well. I don't know. He also confirmed that Reeves is currently writing the script. Pattinson added, Matt is a very careful writer, but I finally know how or what it is about. It's very cool, and I'm very excited. In the film, Pattinson, blah, 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 SEO, SEO. Okay, so, according to Bellany, sorry, this thing drops today. Apparently, Gunn is finally going to get a look at it today. Now, a couple of different things about this. Number one, as Gunn himself admitted, a lot of people, well, at least 5 people, have actually read it or know what's going on in it. I would imagine DeLuca and Abdi are 2 of those people. I think Robert Pattinson's one of them. Strangely, I think Schmiegel guy, who I can't fucking think of right now, I think randomly he's one of them. He talked about it as well. So people know about the movie. They know what's in it. But the official finalized script is supposed to be delivered to DC Studios today. And then James Gunn is going to read it. They're going to maybe make some notes or whatever. And then this thing is supposed to film in January. Now, here's the thing. Andy Serkis, thank you. Here's the thing. A lot of mystery, a lot of weirdness going on here. And many believe that there's still a big chance that Matt Reeves' Batman, Robert Pattinson, will actually become the DCU Batman, okay? Gunn has talked about this a lot, several different interviews, especially in the past month or so. And he always says, like, never say never, we've considered it. For now, it's like Matt's thing or whatever, right? But he continues to not give it the hard no, okay? He continues to not say definitely not. And I think the reality here, and a lot of people are speculating about this, I think the truth is more, it's less so will the Batman join the DCU? It's more so, will the DCU continue to be the main thing? Okay? So, meaning, if I think the studio's waiting for Superman. They're waiting to see how successful or unsuccessful the Superman movie will be. I think if Superman is successful, Matt Reeves will ultimately acquiesce, or what Gunn might do, and Jeff Snyder speculated about this, what Gunn might do is take Pattinson as his Batman anyway, allow the crime saga thing to happen that builds Matt Reeves' story, and then Gunn will try to figure out a way to loosely connect what he wants to do with Pattinson to what came before with Matt's stuff. Like, technically, I don't think Matt could stop him from doing that. Does that make sense? Where, like, you know, Matt's going to go on and tell his story, tell Batman Part 2, maybe do Batman Part 3. And then Gunn might, especially if Superman is successful, if Superman has like a fucking banger of an opening weekend and a really good second week, I think Gunn will have a lot of leverage. He'll have a lot of chips in the negotiations, and I believe he will probably get what he wants. If Superman is not obviously a successful movie, I actually think Matt Reeves will get the leverage and will just go on to make Batman stuff. Now, I don't know how that will work with what Gunn wants to do with Batman, because Gunn obviously wants Batman really badly. I'm not really sure. You know, I think there's a lot of stuff in flux, not just because it's a new universe, not just because Matt Reeves' Batman was already established, but also because Warner Brothers is in big trouble. Zaslav just had to accept terrible compensation because people are really mad at how far the stock price has fallen, and he continues to get paid a lot. So, like, that's a whole thing. They just split the company up into 2 parts. A lot of people think he's preparing for a merger or a sale. So there's a lot of factors here. A lot's going on. And I think it all comes down to Superman. But I'm going to make a prediction right here, guys. I think if Superman is successful, and obviously successful, not like a Thunderbolt situation where we have to fudge the numbers and come up with ways to make it make sense, but if Superman is just clearly successful, I think Matt Reeves' Batman does become the DCU Batman. And I think one of two things will happen. Either Matt will play ball a little bit more because he'll be like, okay, well, at least this is really successful. Everybody loves success. Let's get the two successful people together. And then that pops everything, which that's the whole thing. I don't even particularly like the Batman movie, but you cannot deny that this would create a lot of hype. Not everybody would love it, but it would create a lot of hype. You kind of get all those Batman fans, and then it becomes interesting, like the conversations of like, how does this Batman play with Cornset, Superman, you know, all that, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, I think it is the move. And I think Gunn's instincts here are correct because apparently he has wanted this for years. And I think it's just absolutely the right call. If Superman is instantly successful, I think that's what you're getting. If Superman is not successful, oh, bro, we have actually other conversations that we're going to have, but I don't think Matt Reeves' Batman will be the DCU Batman at that point. And you might even see the DCU kind of slow way down at that point. Maybe hang on particular franchises. I'm not really sure. Dude, I don't think this is going to happen, but there's a possibility that like if Superman does really badly and then Warner Brothers gets sold, there's nothing to say that we don't just start this whole thing over again, get another reboot, or do like the soft reboot version where like Jeff Johns came in to kind of take Snyder's stuff and make it like the Avengers. That's absolutely on the table as well. So my prediction here, guys, is that right now Matt is writing this thing completely as though it's isolated. I don't think he's considering anything that Gunn is doing. However, I think Gunn, especially after he reads the script today, like I bet Gunn's like going to read the script, but also kind of like scan it for like things that might potentially contradict the DCU. I think if Superman, because Superman's right around the corner, man. If that thing has a smash opening weekend, I think you might even see adjustments to Batman Part 2 to make it connect better to the DCU. And I think the only way Matt plays ball is if the Superman film is very, very successful. But either way, we're getting motion here. I know a lot of folks, including myself, are like, yo, where is this movie? I know there are all sorts of reasons as to why it's not coming out, including personal stuff that we don't want to get into with Matt himself. But by all accounts, this thing is filming at the beginning of next year. I think a lot will be decided, not just today, as Gunn reads the script, but in the next couple of weeks, as Superman comes out, as notes and changes are made to the script, as perhaps Robert Pattinson lobbies to Matt Reeves, because I think, you know, from what I understand, Pattinson wants to join the DCU. So I could still see that happening. Just kind of depends on Superman. So that's the report, guys. Would love to know what you think about this, because this story is persisting, man. Like, this just continues to be a thing. Enough insiders and scoopers have been talking about how it's still potentially on the table. Never say never. It all depends on Superman. That's where I'm at with it. Would love to know what you think, guys. What do you think? Let me know, chat. Let me know. And also, we got a 10 spot up here. The Marvel Analyst, appreciate you, man, says, just joining, but what do you think Gunn's mystery project is? I'm thinking it's Justice League versus the Monsterverse. It'd be the first IP universe crossover, and Gunn calls this era Gods and Monsters. You know, I'm not sure what it is, okay? You know, it was really weird, the comments he made about it, because he was like, this big project, we want to keep it a secret. We don't want people to steal it, right? I mean, part of me thinks it's DC versus Marvel. You know, because Marvel just dropped quietly a fourth movie in 2028, but that kind of doesn't really make sense, right? But, you know, if you're just following up Secret Wars, okay, and Marvel's multiverse is all over the place, etc., etc., I mean, a DC versus Marvel thing could be really interesting. Maybe it's just some characters. Like, you know, right now they're doing a Batman Deadpool book. So maybe it's just two characters that team up and you do a DC project versus Marvel. You know, I also thought, too, it could be something multiversal, but I don't see Gunn having an idea of how to use the DC IP as a multiverse that's any different from what Kevin's about to do with Secret Wars, right? So I don't think that's it. I don't know. It's pretty interesting, you know? Hey, look, if he has a great idea, if it's like super cool, like, dude, I'm all about it, you know? But I just found the comments he made about it to be too vague to like really get anything out of it. Dr. Doom went to the DCEU and deleted the Snyderverse. Maybe. Old Republic trilogy and Force Unleashed Elseworlds story. I mean, those sound like incredible ideas that Kathy will never do. Yeah. That's too bad. Andre, what's up, brother? People think Kingdom Come. I don't know, though. I suppose it could be Kingdom Come, but, like, is Kingdom Come really that novel of an idea? You know? I mean, Kingdom Come has a lot of the same beats as, like, Logan. At least thematically. Right? Like, the older heroes versus the new ones. New morality versus old morality, you know? So, So who's going to play the Flash? I don't think we have any idea who's going to play the Flash, actually. A lot of cool casting that could still happen for the DCU, man. We don't even know who Wonder Woman is going to be, but apparently there is some Wonder Woman rumors out there. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of Wonder Woman rumors out there. Jeremy Renner as the Flash? I don't like it. What a waste of an opinion. Yeah, I guess. Josh, you think Gunn will still get another Batman for Brave and the Bold, or will he get Pattinson? I think he wants Pattinson. I think I want Pattinson. I think Pattinson wants it. I think Matt Reeves will only be convinced if Superman is a smash hit. And to be honest with you, I think it has to be commercially a hit too. Like, it has to make money. It has to be critically acclaimed. Like, I gotta be honest. If you were Matt Reeves, right? Would you take notes from James Gunn? Like, this is part of the inherent problem with Gunn being the president, is like, Gunn's a competent filmmaker, but he's not fucking Nolan. You know what I mean? Like, he's not James Cameron. Like, he's not that guy. So if I were any type of director that had like my own style and I was competent, I don't know that I would want to take notes from that guy. You know, like, brother, I don't think Matt Reeves is going to take notes from James Gunn, bro. Like, that doesn't seem like that's the way that would go, right? Andre says, this is round number Bubba. Much love, Nerd Avengers. Brother Josh is 4+ years. So much things happen, and this community is the best. Oh, 50 months. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. But he does know comics. Yeah, and I think, look, dude, Gunn, it's not to say that Gunn is not talented. I think Gunn is super talented, man. I mean, I think he's a pretty good writer. I think he has certainly his own style. He has his own aesthetic. I think he puts on visual feasts and stuff. But James Gunn, though, like, what's his best movie? Guardians 1? I don't know. I don't think if I were Matt Reeves, I would take notes from James Gunn. You know what I mean? So, yeah. What has Reeves done besides one decent Batman movie? Well, I mean, I think even his first, like, big movie, which was the Cloverfield movie, right? I think that was Matt Reeves' like first big movie, unless I'm mistaken. I think Cloverfield, the first one, is like probably better than Gunn's entire catalog. The Apes movies that he made are absolutely incredible. And there's got to be more. Maybe there's something I'm blanking on that Matt has done as well, but those are the ones that come to mind to me when people say, no, he didn't do Ford vs. Ferrari. That was James Mangold. That movie's fire, though. That movie's fire. Yeah. I'm always willing to learn from anybody. Nobody knows everything, and we should always be learning. I agree with that. I think that's fair. But I also think you got to understand that like directors are particular. You know what I mean? Like directors, do you think directors like taking studio notes just in general? No. And you could make the argument that maybe Matt would be more likely to take notes from Gunn over some studio stooge. But to be honest with you, I think there's a part of it that's like when you get the notes from the studio stooge, you can at least contextualize it as like, this is the commercial side of this. I'm making commercial art. I have to play ball here. Does that make sense? But yeah, I mean, look, maybe I'm getting this wrong. Like maybe Matt would absolutely love to have another director that's also a studio head that's giving him notes. Like maybe there's a level of trust there. My impression though is like, just from what I know of directors, highly doubt it, man. Highly doubt it. If you don't like Cloverfield, you are either under 22 or you got motion sickness. Yeah, I mean, look, film's subjective, but I mean, Cloverfield's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. If you don't like Cloverfield, I just feel like that's a weird opinion. It is fucking phenomenal, bro. Like, it is. I remember seeing that shit in the theaters and just having my mind blown. Like, it's great. And I'm talking about the first one. I haven't seen, like, the other ones. So. What is Cloverfield? Oh, dude, you got to see it. It's a found footage movie of an alien attack on New York City. And, bro, oh, my God, bro. It's very good. NYCE Flicks says, love the platform. Please shout out my Kickstarter. Independent film, Forgive Us Our Debts. There you go. Forgive Us Our Debts on Kickstarter right now. Check it out, guys. It's a boomer thing. I don't know what that means. Yeah, that was one of those movies where you're like, wow. Yeah, I agree. It was pretty mind-blowing in my opinion. 10 Cloverfield Lane. I've heard those are both good. Yeah. It'd be like the Russos giving notes to George Lucas. Yeah, I think that's a pretty equivalent comparison. Yeah. And like, again, it's nothing against Gunn. It's just like, I can't imagine like Christopher McQuarrie, right? Like, can you imagine like Christopher McQuarrie taking notes from James Gunn? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, there seems to be a mismatch there. And I do wonder if that has any bearing on some of the other talent they're bringing on. I'm not really sure. Reeves has hardly written anything, and y'all are saying he has the right to give writing notes to Gunn? Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah. All right, any other questions about this Batman stuff? Like, at the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, I think it's cool that the script is over at DC Studios. Like, we're actually getting motion. And, like, just real talk, man. Like, I don't, like, dude, I love DC, but DC has been a whole ass mess for a long time. I like the Snyder stuff, but I did not even love, like, the theatrical BVS broke me. That shit was terrible. The director's cut is really great. They should have just kept that half hour in there. It was great. But BVS in the theater was dog shit. And it kind of fucked that whole thing up, right? And it's just like, dude, I want DC to get their shit together. And it's like anything that can help them get their shit together, I'm a fan of. So it's good that the script is finally there. That Gunn finally has it. That he can finally figure out what the plan is. And if Superman makes a bunch of money, I think we probably get those two franchises coming together. And at least then you have hype. You have one singular DCU. It'll be easier for people to follow along with. Like, please, for the love of God, I hope that's what it is. Because I think one thing Gunn is absolutely right about, which he hasn't really spoken publicly about, but I think he's absolutely right about this. Bro, you can't have two Batman. I'm sorry, you can't. Like, you just can't. Maybe in the same movie, but you cannot have Batman Brave and the Bold while Matt Reeves is lighting it up with the hockey pad Batman that people like. Like, you just can't do that, bro. I think that's so silly. So I think Gunn is right. And I think the best case scenario is to get Robert on board. That would be great for everybody. If Superman's even somewhat successful, boom. I think that's going to happen. That's my final prediction. If Superman looks like it's headed to at least $600 million, which I think it should be, I think Pattinson is in the DCU. Ship it. I'm telling you right now. That's the prediction. Ah! Okay. All right. You know what? Let's talk a little bit about Marvel, and then we'll talk a little bit about how the movies are fucked. Because the movies are totally fucked, by the way. By the way, family just got in here. We'll see what they have to say. Maybe I should wait a second. We're casual now. Everybody relax. Okay? Superman movie should do 700 million plus. I agree. I think it will. I think there's a chance it doesn't, unfortunately. It's not tracking great. I think the reviews really matter. The last-minute marketing push is really going to matter. And word of mouth is really going to matter. But I think it's headed towards 700. At least close. We'll see, though. We'll see. Okay. Oh, great. We're doing this now? This is what we're doing, Leia? This is what we're doing. About to hit record. We got to talk about the MCU, sweetie. This is not your show. Okay. All right, sweetie. You're good. Don't give me that sad face. Look at this fucking sad face, dude. She's trying to make me feel terrible. Oh, and now the paw? And now we got the paw up, huh? All right. All right. Well, this clip might just have the dog in it. We'll see. All right. There she goes. Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We all know that we're headed towards Secret Wars. We all know we're headed towards a soft reboot of the MCU. Well, we just got some interesting details about what that's going to look like. What is the focus of the next saga? And it's kind of interesting to me. So this comes from the Cosmic Circus, some comments made by Alex Perez. I want to go over this article here, which describes the sort of dark, mystical, sorcerer-esque side of the MCU. But also, there was stuff mentioned about how the focus is going to be on cosmic first, then mutants, then the supernatural, which is kind of wild. Okay, let's get into this article. Fresh reports uncover major clues about the MCU's future after Secret Wars. Next saga described as very dark. The Marvel Cinematic Universe had its ups and downs lately. While Deadpool and Wolverine brought back some buzz and performed well at the box office, there's still a lot of loose ends and storylines that haven't gone anywhere in years. For a while now, fans have noticed that the MCU has gotten messy, with too many disconnected stories and characters left hanging. Because of this, many people think Marvel is planning a reboot. The upcoming Secret Wars movie might be the perfect place to make that happen. This isn't just talk of fans either. There are now several sources hinting that big changes are coming. In the book, The Reign of Marvel Studios, author Joanna Robinson shared something interesting about Marvel boss Kevin Feige's plan. She wrote that Feige sees Secret Wars as a way to clean things up. He wants to remove what isn't working, like Gaia, Brie Larson, other things, and keep what still feels right, she said. We have a quote from Kevin Feige sort of implying that, like, Secret Wars will serve as a soft reboot in which they can prune everything. That's not, to use a Lokiism, prune everything that's not working and just keep what is working, or bring back people you thought were gone forever. Interesting. This idea of a soft reboot means that Marvel wouldn't start everything over from scratch. Instead, they'd keep some of the characters and storylines and let go of others. That way, fans could still follow characters they love while the studio fixes parts of the MCU that have gone off track. Some reports claim that the teams like Fantastic Four and Young Avengers will survive this reset. At the same time, Marvel may finally introduce the X-Men in a bigger way after Secret Wars. Feige himself once said that the era of mutants in the MCU is just the beginning, and all signs point to the mutants playing a key role in the next saga. There have been also hints that Marvel will shift more into magical and supernatural side of things. Projects like Agatha All Along and Ironheart have started to lay the groundwork for that. And insider Alex Perez added more fuel to that theory in a recent Q&A session. When asked what the magic side of the MCU might look like in the next saga, he replied, very dark, very demonic, and something out of a Guillermo del Toro fever dream. I love Guillermo. That's fucking awesome. Marvel does still have a Blade movie coming, and fans keep hearing about a Midnight Suns project, which will feature more mystical and darker heroes. There's also the fact that Marvel paused work on the Strange Academy TV show, and that doesn't mean it's canceled. It might return later. So while nothing has been confirmed by Marvel yet, all signs point to big changes are coming. The next saga may be focused on magic and mutants, giving the MCU fresh direction after many years of build-up in the multiverse. In my view, a soft reboot is exactly what the MCU needs right now. Too many stories have been left hanging, and a fresh start will clear direction, could bring the universe back to form. What do you think? Are you ready for Marvel to hit the reset? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Okay, so a couple of things we need to point out here. I love the inclusion of the Joanna Robinson comments. This book came out a couple of years ago, and even then, the idea of the soft reboot after Secret Wars was an established fact. And I do think they want to prune certain things that were not working, and they want to hold on stuff that was working. So I think Secret Invasion, all that Nick Fury stuff gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Maria Hill pops back up. Like, dead ass. I'm so interested to see how they pull this off, but I can't help but think that in the soft reboot, like, Feige is going to basically be acquiescing to, like, Redditors or the Nerd Vengers, basically. Like, I'm just putting a prediction out there, man. I think dead ass, we're gonna get everything we want. What do I mean? Savage Hulk, back. Gaia, gone. Maria Hill, back. Nick Fury, back to being a badass. Thor, back to being super powerful and a total badass. Like, I think you're, and even, it's even possible they make Captain Marvel a fucking hottie again, because Carol, like, bro, guys, I'm sorry, just open up a goddamn comic book. Carol Danvers is a fucking babe. I totally get it. She's also badass, but she's a babe. So, like, what if we got actual Carol Danvers, like, being a babe again? Like, hello, that would be awesome. So I would expect the soft rebooted MCU to fix basically all of the big problems, okay? But although it's interesting that this article focuses on the supernatural, and, like, look, Alex saying that it was like a Del Toro fever dream and it's gonna be very demonic, that's dope. Only problem is, like, that's obviously, and look, some of you guys are not gonna believe me, okay? So lean in. I need you to really pay attention to this part. This is obviously Kevin understanding that Warhammer is the future and that Warhammer is about to take over the zeitgeist. And so Kevin wants to get a little bit of the Warhammer flavor. Okay. You might think I'm crazy, but trust me, that's what it is. So with the demons and all of the supernatural stuff and, like, going, like, really, really hardcore, like, I'm telling you right now, that's Kevin being like, I've seen what Henry's cooking up. I know that Warhammer is the best. I watched the Den of Nerds and Warhammer Explained, and he's totally right. Warhammer is the future. So he's trying to get a little bit of the Warhammer flavor. All good, all fair in love and war, okay? However, the actual focus of the next saga, which is kind like, I don't know if you get this impression when you look at that article, but what Alex said was that the main focus of the saga is actually cosmic. So Annihilus is likely the big bad. Maybe it's a Celestial or the Mad Celestials. There was another villain people said it could be, but it's very likely this big, crazy cosmic threat, right? That's actually the most important part of the whole saga. So I think that's where a lot of the new characters are going to pop up, is in the cosmic setting. So, you know, for instance, the character of Hulkling is not probably going to be in the next two Avengers movies, but likely saved for something to do with the cosmic era, which makes me think, okay, Hulkling is technically a Kree-Skrull hybrid that at one time actually is put in charge of both empires. That would be really interesting. There was, you know, obviously there's Annihilus and the Fantastic Four coming into the proper MCU. Annihilus, that's huge. The Nova show, which was said to focus on Annihilus, that's apparently going to be huge. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe you get Starjammers, you know, maybe you get some more X-Men stuff coming out into the cosmic area. But what Alex said was the main focus will be cosmic. Then you have mutant. So it's more of a cosmic thing than it is a mutant thing. I think this will also be this new universe dealing with shit for the very first time, okay? Now, this goes back to the idea of the loop, okay? So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It's basically confirmed via a lot of good sources that the MCU was on a loop, and that He Who Remains and the Multiversal War and all the variants popping up, and then He Who Remains harnesses the power of Goliath and creates the sacred timeline. The whole thing, it's been like one big loop, okay? I believe that a big part of what is going to happen in the saga after Secret Wars will be connected to the idea of this thing no longer being on a loop. And I think certain things, like potentially Doctor Doom, potentially the X-Men, potentially Annihilus, things that Kang or He Who Remains or the TVA had removed from the timeline are now a part of the timeline. And so I think what you're going to see, because they're focusing so much on the cosmic, I think cosmic entities might play a big role here. I think Franklin Richards might play a big role here. I think, you know, either Annihilus, the Cancerverse, you know, potentially like even crazy big scale ideas like the ones who sit above in darkness, like these higher level outer verse gods that have kind of been created over the past couple of years. The fact that you have Celestials and like a Judgment Day thing going on where it's possible the X gene is a version of the Deviant gene, that could be connected to it. Apocalypse and Mr. Sinister are apparently the focus of the X-Men. I think that will connect to the cosmic stuff because Apocalypse has connections to the Celestials. So I think what you might see is in this next saga, whatever they're going to call it, Mutant Saga, Cosmic Saga, you're going to see how the Marvel Universe does now that nobody's watching over it, now that nothing is predetermined, and now that there's no loop, what actually happens. And I think there might be some characters from Secret Wars, like potentially a couple characters that survived Secret Wars that actually remember the prior version of the MCU. I think a big thing will sort of be, now that we're in this new MCU compared to the old one, like what are the things that are popping up, right? So like if Apocalypse pops up, people are going to be like, dude, this wasn't here before. This is probably something that Kang had removed. In other words, this is potentially really dangerous. So will you then have forces like either the TVA or, you know, like Infinity Watch or, you know, something like all of the Captain Britain Corps or the Exiles, all kinds of, or a new TVA? Will you have any kind of a force that is aware just how fucking crazy things could pop off in the new universe? That's kind of what I'm predicting, right? And so it's basically going to be three-tiered. Cosmic is the biggest tier. That's the biggest push of the next saga. which again, I think will connect to He Remains, Secret Wars, like a new, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're free. Like, we're finally free. Like, we're not on the loop anymore, right? So I think that's the main focus will be cosmic. Mutants are a big focus of it, but I got to be honest, I think there's only two reasons. I mean, number one is mutants are awesome. Feige knows the X-Men are going to sell, so there's a big push there. But also, the mutants were something that He Who Remains removed from the sacred timeline. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think, because Alex had these comments a couple of weeks ago, maybe it were months ago at this point, where he said, just like the X-Men, Doctor Doom was something that He Who Remains specifically removed from the sacred timeline. And I was like, that's really interesting, because Doctor Doom was originally going to be the big bad of the Mutant Saga, which I guess is Cosmic Mutant Saga. But originally, and this is important, Doom was going to be teased in Secret Wars and be the main villain of the Cosmic X-Men thing. So now you kind of see how everybody's heads moving. Now you kind of see how things have adjusted. Well, X-Men are likely going to replace Doctor Doom as that thing that maybe Kang was right about. You know what I mean? And I think that's going to be the tension, is maybe it's Doctor Strange, maybe it's Doctor Doom himself, maybe it's the new Iron Man, maybe it's Wanda, maybe it's Franklin, maybe it's Reed. There will be characters that will remember the Secret War, and potentially, as they see the mutants doing mutant shit, kind of have that thought of like, oh shit, maybe Kang was right. Maybe Kang was right about these muties, you know? So just some interesting thoughts, some interesting speculation here, guys. But either way, it seems like cosmic, mutant, and then supernatural that's going to be very demonic, which sounds a lot like Warhammer to me. So I'm excited for all this shit. So there you have it with all of that. Let me know what you think, man. Did you touch on Tom Hiddleston comments playing different version of Loki? I think people forget Loki is the key to everything. I don't recall these comments. Were these made recently? I know he's been in a couple of interviews, and he's kind of like talked a little bit about coming back to film for it. Is that what you're referring to? Yeah. Yeah. Get to Hellstrom eventually. So is Hellstrom, what's Hellstrom? It sounds familiar to me. I'm thinking of a character that was like the son of Satan, but for some reason, I might be thinking of a DC character, actually. Inserting Warhammer into this conversation is hilarious and insane. I mean, it might be insane. I don't think it's hilarious. Warhammer's the future, Alex. Don't you understand? The fuck do I gotta do to check? What do I have to do to get you all to understand that Warhammer is the future? Okay? It's starting to take over. I'm wearing a Warhammer shirt. We got a fucking Warhammer sword here. I got a Warhammer paint. That's a Warhammer Sheba. That's a Warhammer painting back there. I got Warhammer figures on my desk. I got a Warhammer book on the couch. What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take? Anyway, yeah, totally glad we're all on the same page there. Hey, I like Warhammer too. I just don't see the connection. Well, just ignore it and accept that I'm just trying to shove Warhammer into everything. Holy shit. Okay, one more big story today. And this is about how movie theaters are fucked. Did y'all see this? It's kind of wild. So, movies. Do you guys remember movies? Do you guys remember going to the movies? Do you guys remember when movies shaped culture? Check this out. Most U.S. exhibition executives think traditional moviegoing has less than 20 years as viable business model, according to a new survey. More than 50% of exhibition executives polled in a new survey believe the traditional cinema experience has less than 20 years remaining as a viable business model. Holy! The poll, conducted by analyst and author Stephen Follows in collaboration with exhibitor news outlet Screen Dollars, surveyed 246 U.S.-based executives in the film industry to give their opinions on the theatrical landscape's recovery after COVID pandemic lockdowns, flexible release windowing, and the future of the business amid streaming prominence. When asked how long traditional moviegoing could remain as a viable business model, roughly 55% of exhibition executives stated that they believed it had less than 20 years, giving other available answers such as less than 5 years, 5 to 10 years, or 10 to 20 years. My God. However, exhibitors were more likely to predict more than 20 years compared to the execs in other fields like TV production, sales, distribution. Of those polled, sales and distribution executives were the most pessimistic. Yeah, the people actually selling the ad, they know. Pessimistic in their forecast, with more than 60% believing that traditional cinema model has less than 20 years. As the question was posed, executives were asked what they think will happen to traditional cinema experience, a loose term that offers some flexibility in interpretation. For example, some individuals polled may believe that premium large format auditoriums, such as IMAX and 4DX, are a separate experience than traditional ones. Interesting. In his writings, Follows leaves room for optimism that it could be that the traditional cinema experience evolves and changes with the times, meaning that the people, companies, and locations survive, but in a different form. Among other findings in the poll, nearly 90% of U.S. exhibition executives stated that their revenues have not recovered to pre-COVID levels. You know what they should say? Pre-COVID streaming levels. Because it really wasn't COVID, bro. It was streaming. An overwhelming majority of them, 81%, also want an exclusive theatrical window on new releases lasting at least 6 weeks, while 77 believe that day-and-date streaming releases have a negative impact on the theatrical model. Wow. So a whole bunch of people that are actually in the business, and this is on the distribution side, so not the creative side. These are the people that are distributing, that are actually having a look at the hardcore data. Majority of them believe that the movie industry in its current traditional form has less than 20 years as a viable business model. That's fascinating to hear. And I got to tell you, I think it's way less than 20, personally. I think it is way less than 20. And I want to try to explain why. I want to try to tell you why, okay? So, number one, I think, it's obvious that if you look at the data, consumer behavior is so different to what it was before lockdown. But again, I don't think it's actually lockdown. I think it was the push for streaming while lockdown was going on. Okay? And essentially, you just saw irreparable changes to consumer behavior. Now, what we see is movies don't really leg out much at all. There are a few exceptions. Like, I think Top Gun Maverick was an exception that legged out. But at the same time, you might have had like a sort of getting out of lockdown pop for that movie where people were just excited to go out and experience something. It didn't necessarily translate into how that behavior would sort of even out once the world actually fully opened back up, right? But you see movies not being able to leg out. You see all movies being incredibly front-loaded. You see repeat viewings way, way down. And I think a lot of movies, I think one of the scarier parts is that, sure, we tend to focus on the big movies and how those films are doing. But the truth is, you take out the really big movies and the industry looks so much worse, dude. Like, you're talking about just, they literally cannot make money. And it's crazy, right? So the question is, will this actually change? I got to tell you, I think two other factors are going to be the nails in the proverbial coffin for the theatrical experience, okay? Number one is alternative media and content. I mean, dude, look at some of these statistics. Look at the amount of time people spend on YouTube compared to even things like Netflix these days, okay? It's crazy. So many more people are getting their entertainment from just what you would call alternate media. And there's so many different reasons why. I think part of it is like authenticity, where, you know, a lot of the corporate stuff just feels super fake. Like there was a really interesting moment that a lot of people didn't talk about, but there was a moment when Tom Cruise was promoting the new Mission Impossible movie, and he was asked about Father's Day. Did any of you catch this? Basically, dude, it was this really embarrassing, like, mask off moment, which showed you that, like, Tom Cruise is not a normal person. He doesn't know shit about being a normal human. He doesn't relate to us in any meaningful way. And in fact, he's just really good at acting like he is. He is literally just acting like he's an everyday man. He has no fucking idea what that's like. And he's the best one at it. Like, this is a guy that's so careful, and his whole existence is so catered, crafted, and like basically a performance that even that dude had like a small little mask slip moment, and it made some news. I don't know if you guys saw it. It was weird, dude. Go check it out. It was really weird. But I think the truth is, man, like you see all sorts of examples of this where actors, like I just saw a comment. Oh man, who was the person that said this? Somebody just came out. I think it was Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx just came out and said it's not fun to be a celebrity anymore. And he was talking about how you're just overexposed, all the hate you get online. A couple of months before that, you had Natalie Portman coming out to say that her kids don't know who movie actors are at all. Only people that her kids follow and know about are streamers and content creators, right? So it's just totally shifted. It's totally shifted and pivoted. And I think Hollywood rings crazy inauthentic and really elitist and just completely out of touch. So I think that's part of why content creators and alternate media are making some serious headway. And that has certainly took a big old chunk out of Hollywood. Like it literally has. And I don't even know if they fully understand that, but I think it's obvious, okay? The other thing, and this one's the one that's like, oh, it's going to make everybody so uncomfortable. AI. I'm sorry. It's just absolutely going to happen. I know right now there's still a big push against AI. Like Mr. Beast just announced some AI thumbnail model stuff. And a lot of people got really butthurt about it and made like a lot of noise, right? Those voices are just going to be drowned out in the next couple of years. Like, I think if you look at what happened with the Ghibli situation, that is so much of a better metric for how this is going to go than Mr. Beast talking about AI. Okay? Because look at what happened with the Ghibli thing. In the middle of a cultural moment when people are so mad at AI and people want to virtue signal about AI, in that moment, you still had the Ghibli meme absolutely fucking dominate social media feeds for days, okay? And the truth was, it was too easy and too cool for people to not do it. And I guarantee you had a bunch of people that were literally had maybe even made anti-AI posts, and they Ghiblified themselves. They made some Ghibli memes. They shared in them. They liked them. They participated in a sort of cultural zeitgeist moment that was completely AI generated. That is a better indicator of how this is going to go than people getting mad at Mr. Beast. Convenience always wins. Convenience will be the reason that AI dominates content creation in the future, okay? And I think this is going to show up in multiple ways. Number one, it is going to make it so creating actual high production value entertainment is going to be available to basically everybody, okay? Now, there have not been, to this point, a lot of actual artists that have used this tech to create compelling stuff, but there was one that recently really blew me away and kind of made me be like, yeah, this shit's taken over. So Darren Aronofsky, I love this guy, man. I've watched all of his movies from Pi to the Heroin John where Leto cuts his arm off. I love Aronofsky, man. I think he's brilliant. Didn't he do The Fountain too? I love Darren Aronofsky, man. Just like a brilliant visionary filmmaker, really, really smart. So he recently made a movie completely generated by AI which a lot of people are ignoring because it's so fucking good that it makes a lot of their arguments completely fall apart, right? So you should watch this thing. I gotta tell you, man, it makes you feel shit, and I'm gonna be real. It makes you feel a lot of shit. It involves like a pregnancy, a mom, a child, tragedy, the universe. Like, bro, you should watch this movie. He literally made this completely with AI, and it didn't just make you feel things. It made me erupt into emotion. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And so this was the first time that I saw an actual filmmaker with chops utilize the technology and make something that I think transcended the medium. Like, in a way, this is really interesting and good. Like, in a way, it's really bad. It's really concerning because it just means like, oh, dude, it's over. It really is over. The thing that's nice about it is it shows that messaging and story can transcend the technology, right? Can transcend the technology, which is crazy. So that will happen. And I think a lot of filmmakers in the studios will push for this because it's going to be a lot cheaper. What I'm really interested in is like, what's going to happen with independent video game makers, independent filmmakers, independent storytellers when they get their hands on this technology, because it's only going to get better. It's already kind of stupid good. It'll soon become unrecognizable from live action. Okay. That's going to happen. Like, that's going to happen probably before the end of the year. So between the fact that Hollywood themselves will be utilizing this technology, but also independent filmmakers and video game creators are going to create this tech, that's going to be fucking crazy. Okay. But I think there's actually a third thing that nobody is like, some people are kind of aware of this, but I don't think people realize how much this is going to be the future. Okay. And I think the truth is movies themselves are going to change in a lot of ways and become like a licensable element of how you actually engage with this technology. Meaning you might, like Affleck had this example he gave, I think it was late last year, where he said, if you're around with a bunch of your buddies, you might be able to like pay $20. You scan yourselves in to the film and you watch your favorite action movie or your favorite Avengers movie, but instead of it being Robert Downey Jr., it's you and your buddies. And it's a little bit janky, it's a little bit weird, but it's literally you and your buddies in Avengers exploring that. I think it's going to get way more fucking weird than that. Like, way more weird. Like, I think you might be able to be like, I'd like to watch Fellini's 8.5, but done with Dragon Ball characters. Like, dead ass, dude. Like, I think that is actually going to be the way people spend way more of their time than like actually going to see these films. I'm telling you, like, I am dead ass. I think that is what the future looks like. It's like sort of dealer's choice. You know what I mean? It's like, how do I want to be entertained? I mean, I remember years ago, the Russos said, you might be able to tell your AI, like, I want to watch this kind of movie. I want to watch this kind of, with this kind of a feeling, with this kind of a vibe, this kind of a character. And then boom, it creates it. I think in the future, you'll probably have movies that are actually created with thousands of versions that possibly are even generated in the moment. So think of like a randomly generated dungeon in a Elder Scrolls game, right? Where you come up to a dungeon, and as soon as you walk through that dungeon door, the outside world is, for all intents and purposes, gone, and the dungeon you are about to be in is completely generated in the moment. So this allows for the content to be really unique each and every time you enter it. It's already in video games, and people really like it. I think that'll be the way we spend most of our time being entertained, okay? And I know that might seem really weird, but I'm telling you right now, that's where it's headed. And then the next step beyond that is like virtual worlds and actually entering into the world of a story. Like, imagine this. Like, what's your guys' favorite comedy. Like just throw some comedies that you really enjoy out. We'll do this as like a thought experiment. Like what's one of your favorite comedies? This is why I asked if VR will be the next huge medium last year. But first, it has to start in the theater group viewing setting before in the household. Yeah, totally. Okay, Step Brothers. Step Brothers. A great example. That's a great one. Okay, so imagine you and your buddy. Okay? What if you had the ability to put on headsets and you enter the world of Step Brothers, and it's not just the two brothers, but now you are also a brother of Dale, and your buddy is the brother of the other guy. Okay? So literally, it's the same characters, same world, the same events are about to happen, but you just enter the world and live within that story as one of the stepbrothers. Like, I'm telling you, like, I know this seems crazy. I know it seems crazy. I promise you, that's where this is all going. That is where all of this is going. And when it's easy and it's borderline seamless, the vast majority of entertainment time will be done doing things like this. I'm telling you. That's what it is. So, yeah, that's my opinion. I think it's way less than 20 years, but I also think it's kind of fascinating that we live in a world where, like, we can all see the numbers. Like, we see how diminished that industry is. We see that this technology is coming. We see that the world is changing. We see that content and YouTube and podcasts and streaming have taken a big chunk out of it. I mean, to be honest with you, a movie, as it is traditionally known, is going to be a dinosaur. Like, it's going to be a dinosaur, dude. I truly believe that. And I think we're going to witness it, too, because I think it's way faster than 20 years, dude. Way faster than 20 years. But anyway, what do you think about that? What do you think about that? Are you mad? Do you want to fight about it? You're like, hell nah, couldn't be me. Hell nah, couldn't be me. Well, here's what I would say to that, guys, okay? Here's what I would say to that. How many times in the past 3 years have you taken your phone out while you were watching a movie at home? How many times in the past 3 years have you taken your phone out while watching a movie at home? If you understand what that actually means from a human behavior position, you will understand that movies as they currently exist are not even novel enough nor exciting enough to keep you from doom scrolling and shit posting for a couple of hours. So don't sit here and tell me that the theatrical experience is so fucking sacred when you are taking your phone out during these movies. You don't even care about it as much as you claim to. Because it's not as cool. Trust me. I'll see you in the virtual world. I'll see you in the virtual world. Yeah. I like the communal aspect of watching a movie with a group of strangers. Totally. I think that's part of why you'll probably enter into movies with other people. You know what I mean? Like, it is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. Josh will still be too cool for us in VR. I don't know what that means, but yes. I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but 100%, dude. 100%. Josh couldn't figure out VR. I mean, I'm a little not great at it, to be honest, but they said that theaters still run as normal in times of war historically. Yeah, yeah. Josh wants AI Warhammer VR. I mean, it's not that I want it to be AI. It's just that I think AI will be the most useful way to get to that outcome. And to be honest with you, AI used for like NPCs or in video games would be so cool. Like, how many times have you played a video game and you're stuck in the, what do they call it? The dialogue tree. And it's like, this isn't even a character. You're just trying to get through this arbitrary dialogue tree guessing game, Mad Lib kind of a thing to get to the info, to get to the game. Like, that's not even a really like dynamic experience. You know, remember the Paragon system from the old BioWare games? Right? So if you think back to that, you made a decision and then it would affect how people treated you in the future of the game. Dude, all that's going to get dialed up to like 11. Like, the things you say to these NPCs, the way you treat these NPCs, they will actually remember. They will actually respond and change due to your input. That's fucking fascinating, dude. That is so much of a cooler experience. It's like a novel experience. You know? Oh, are we talking about taking a phone out of the theater? Never, but at home too many times. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say is like, we can't imagine changing that experience, and yet you already changed it. You already changed it because you're fucking on Twitter and then ordering Uber Eats. You're not even fully paying attention to the movie. So you're already having a different experience than people that watched the movie even 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It's too freaking hot out. It is hot, bro. You're not wrong. It is pretty hot today. It is pretty hot. AI will destroy me in Madden? Yeah, probably. Josh about to run around wearing Terminator armor. Hell yeah. If I'm lucky. You got to earn Terminator armor, you know what I'm saying? New Weapons trailer. Is that movie going to be cool? What's Weapons about? I don't even know what that movie's about. 100 degrees in DC? Oh my God. I mean, it's hot here. I don't know if it's 100 though. Oh, it's about weapons. Right. Looks freaky? Oh, shit. In 2040? What? You guys are wild, man. You guys are wild. Okay. Is there anything else going on? I think we did 4 big topics today, right? Batman 2 updates. Movies are fucked. Marvel's next saga. And Star Wars is fucked. Yeah, we did it. Did you see the new F4 clip? No, I didn't. I know there's a new trailer dropping on Wednesday, and I'm excited for that, but yeah. Now talk Warhammer? I think now I'm going to talk getting out of here. We can talk Warhammer later, though. Josh, do you think Hollywood should just bite the bullet and count streams in the box office? That's kind of an interesting idea. Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do, bruh. I don't know what they're going to do. Are you watching 28 inches later? I mean, 28 years later? Yeah, you know what? They just came out to say that all of the nudity was done with prosthetics. But I've also heard so much about how they have like massive dongs. So like, what was the thought process there? They were like, well, we need it all to be fake. Might as well make it fucking huge. Like, what's the process there? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. It's 92 right now. It feels like 100. Yeah, it feels hot in here, bruh. Feels hot in here. I wonder what the temp is. Oh, my God. It's 86 here. Whew. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty hot. Y'all are soft, 100 degrees every damn day in Texas. Yeah, well, I'm from the north. I'm not built for that, bro. You know what I mean? Only male nude zombies, though? No females? Where's the equality? True. True. You didn't touch on Superman first 30-minute screening? I mean, it's hard to say what the truth is of that, right? Like, I've heard some people that liked it a lot. I've heard some people that really didn't like it. I don't think it's changed much, to be honest. I think we're just going to have to wait and see what the reviews are. Yeah, we'll see. Elijah says, it won't be films becoming interactive. It will be interactive games reaching film fidelity. Imagine theater having a giant gaming engine computer. Yeah, I think it might be a hybrid, though, because I do think... I think it'll be a hybrid. And I think there might be some that are more traditionally thought of as games, in which your input and perhaps a certain designed loop is there for you to get good at. Like, that's like a game. But I think you might have other things that are more like going on a safari, right? Or like touring space, but it's virtual. So there might still be experiences that you just are there to experience. And then there's going to be more like a game that has like an actual, like a loop, something that you're trying to do continuously, right? Because gaming is kind of interesting where, like, you have high fidelity games and then you have games that are very intricate, but then you also have, like, very basic games, dude. Very basic games. You know, something like a Tetris, something like, you know, a Candy Crush, Flappy Birds. Not every game experience that's enjoyable comes from graphics and fidelity. You know what I mean? So I think you'll probably get a mixture. Yes, yes. I know you aren't watching Ironheart, but do you think this is a good step for normies getting tech mixed with magic to get Doom using both? I think that was probably a part of why they did it. But I also question how relevant it will be, because number one, it's over a year away now. Number two, I just can't imagine there's actual strict connectivity there. And number three, like, just everybody's burnt out on Marvel, dude. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know. But hey, guys, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here today, man. I'm starting to boil in here. I think ever since you guys started talking about the temp, now I'm actually feeling it. So I'm fried. So I'm gonna get on out of here. Remember, no stream tomorrow morning, but I do have a surprise stream for you guys tomorrow night. It's a surprise. Come on back tomorrow night. Damn. Bars. What time? You'll have to wait and see. Will there be snacks? Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. You know what they say, though. I'm kind of a snack myself. Okay. Much love, man. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll be back at it tomorrow evening. Videos throughout the week. Wednesday's going to be a big day. Fantastic Four trailer. And then Nerd Avenger stream that evening. And then a lot of fun stuff coming at you as well. Tomorrow night, secret stream. All right. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. Oh man. Another happy landing, and also it's hot as hell. Holy shit, it's so hot, it's hot as hell. I'm gonna go air out my balls, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Video dropping later today. Clips later tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. No stream tomorrow morning. Don't be sad. Don't be sad. All right, we're gonna get out of here. Hey, do me one favor. Just do me just a little favor. 2 favors actually. Just open up your third eye and watch out. Your stinky butt.